Hey guys! How are you? It's Katie. Joy. Alright, so I feel like all we talk about is Teen Mom, but I feel like there's just so many stories in the news lately, and well, we're recovering from the audio related to Amber Portwood, which many of you guys have given me feedback about, wanting more details about the police audio or the video, and I still don't know legally if I can release it. I am concerned because it was obtained through a ring cam where the police officers did not know that they were being filmed, and that's the legal component I'm dealing with on that. I don't want to be sued, and even though it's a First Amendment right to have like video released, typically when filmed with police officers, you're supposed to let them know. And under surveillance, it's not typical. So I'll have to double check. There is more to be released. You'll have to hang tight on that. I know that you guys are eager to learn more details. Okay. But let's move on to the most current sort of drama going on in the teen mom world. So yesterday, it was reported that Jenelle Eason obtained a restraining order related to her husband, David. Well, E-Online or E-News got a hold of a copy of it, and I started thinking back because some of the items that were listed on what was reported by E, I've actually reported on in the past, and I went through and I went into my archives and I found a bunch of like videos and photos. And if you're new to this channel, maybe you haven't seen these, and maybe just having one cohesive video for you to see sort of an idea of what was going on in this household might give you some ideas. The picture that is painted by the restraining order is a very grim and dark one, which also had me starting to think about this account on Twitter that has been releasing this information, wondering if that because of what was going on in the home, Janelle felt like she didn't have safety to really share with the world what was going on. And maybe somehow that using this account, Rue, who is a real person, we just don't know who they are, maybe that was a way for her to get the information out to the people so that they knew what was going on without her having to directly say it. And then she could publicly defend against it if it got out into the media without getting David upset, but still getting the information out, if that makes sense. This is just my idea. But this makes me think that this has been, if that's the case, this is something she's been planning to do for quite some time. It also makes me believe that because of her move to Tennessee or wherever she is, that there was also planning there too, because it's clear that she took steps to understand some legal components because the state of Tennessee does have a stipulation within their laws that allows domestic violence victims and spouses to bypass the residency requirement. So if someone comes to Tennessee and is fleeing a relationship that is DV and they want to get a divorce, the state of Tennessee waives the 6 months requirement of residency if they can prove the abuse. And she obtained a restraining order yesterday basically proving that, essentially. Now there'll be a court date where he can defend against it, but for now it's a judge has upheld what she has said, and it'd be his burden of proof now to prove that he didn't do these things. Okay, so that again makes me think like this was planned. Now the family took a trip to Tennessee to go spend some time and, do some music stuff, which again made me think was this, again, pre-planned, and then she's got money apparently and he doesn't, again, so I'm like, this must have been planned. So I'm thinking that even though on the surface things looked like she was staying with him and everything was fine, that this has been something that's been in motion for quite some time. And I'm only guessing is because this is often the case with individuals that are leaving situations like this, okay? And it's because I also feel like this because this account on Twitter has also been releasing information since at least April. So at least since April, there has been sort of this litter of information that's been coming out, of photos, of videos, of things that are going on inside this house where somebody was releasing the information. The videos are directly taken by Janelle, so they had to have come from Janelle. We just don't know how that person got them. So here is what E! News reported yesterday. They said, during one alleged incident Janelle claims took place on February 7th, 2019, David told her, "You can die for all I care. You're a piece of SHIT, biggest piece of SHIT I've ever seen." Janelle claims that she recorded David saying this, who then allegedly locked Kaiser in their running car. While Kaiser was trying to unlock it, David continuously locked it again with my spare key, scaring both me and Kaiser, Janelle states in the documents. And a lot of people were concerned that Kaiser was sort of a target because he looked just like her ex-fiance, Nathan. And then she says that late last month, Janelle states that she arranged for childcare and traveled out of town for business meetings without telling David. In response, David allegedly accused Janelle of cheating on him and sent her a picture of an unidentified man and wrote, "This is your new boyfriend, and I'm going to break his neck and feed you his head." David then allegedly texted her, "My goal in life is to make sure you regret leaving me like this." According to Janelle, she then asked David to stop sending her threatening texts and confirmed that Ensley was going to remain in her care. And then she wrote, "Given his actions and knowing his temperament, I believe he is implying that he would kill himself if I do not come back to him. For all of the reasons, I'm afraid that David will harm me or my children, and that he will continue to threaten me using text messages, phone calls, or on the internet." Okay? So that's what they obtained from the actual order. Okay? So here is that video where she says, "You can effing die for all I care." That's actually right here. So you guys might have seen this. This was actually one of my more popular videos. This was when I was first really starting to get into this, obviously covering this sort of teen mom stuff. And to be frank, the reason why I started covering Janelle was because of my concern about DV, and that's really my passion. I try to share things like this to expose stuff, to help people understand. And I was concerned about her, right? Concerned about the message it sends, concerned about what's going on. And that's kind of how I got involved with all this, because of the dog and like everyone else, right? And now here I am, stuck all these months later, but still, this is an important story. And here is what he said.
You can die right now, bro. I give a fuck. You're a fucking piece of shit. You're the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
All right. So that was from February. So "You can die for all I care. You're a effing piece of shit." And you can see that he is making a sandwich. He's flicking her off. He's very, very, very agitated. And that was released by Rue in May. So around, I think, May 28th is when that one came out. And then on May 30th, that same account released this, which is another one that I did this in a video as well.
Don't come back! I'm calling Marissa's grandmother! Okay.
Okay. So with this video, Rue had said that it was because Marissa always got caught in the middle of these fights, him driving off and her chasing after him and them getting into explosive fights, and then Marissa getting shuttled back and forth to grandma, was an overriding issue with Marissa always sort of being the collateral damage in here because Marissa was not her daughter. And it's interesting because during this time, this account was extremely critical of Janelle. So And a lot has changed. Like, the account isn't so critical of Janelle now. And I tried to ask whether that account today, why their opinion has changed, but they did not respond. But it could have been that at the time they were angry about what David did. They wanted her to leave. It's hard to know. I mean, friends can be angry with their friends when they're in these situations because they feel like powerless to help their friends leave, okay? Now, over the course of several months, the same account has released so many different images. So this was another one where this, she says, happens, and this is what I'm saying is that she says, this is why I say she's no victim. The 911 day. So this was when she called 911 on him in October of 2018. She says, he was raging drunk all day, tearing up the house. She could have left with the kids. No telling the screams they heard. Her favorite part of the house. No, I didn't watermark because the point of this, what's the point of it? And so there's like images of like pills on the floor. You can see smashed stuff on the bathroom, like a smashed glass of something. Her straightener has been completely like destroyed. He threw everything that was on the wall into the tub. And then another incident was that right before she had surgery in the fall of 2018, they also got into a fight, and he wrote like, you are such a bitch, I just don't care, sorry, wish I did, go F your girlfriend, gay bitch. And then he shows like he threatens to release a text message where he has actually manipulated what the text says. And it says, I'm blocking your number, bye. And then with that would be David, with then her saying, please tell me you didn't really leave the kids home alone. That's the end. CPS is over here, and I'm about to post this SHIT all over the internet. I'm throwing all of your things outside. Goodbye. I can't believe you left my babies home alone and forced me to rush home in a panic. This will be the headlines. I'm texting Teresa now. She thinks that you're a good person. Just the offspring of your mother, so you can't help it. So the I'm blocking your number by would have been from Janelle, and then that would be David basically like insinuating that she abandoned her kids. So trying to set it up. And then he wrote, oops, I accidentally posted this to my page and to my Instagram. And then she wrote, you can leave. I already got the kids prepared for tomorrow and have their lunches packed. I have someone taking me to my surgery tomorrow, so I don't worry about coming home. And then that's how he replied. And then he said, let's post this to your wall. And he's like, I'll post some great SHIT to your wall at MIO. Go ahead and see what happens next. Cool, let's do it. And then another fight that they had, which was, I don't know when this was posted. She wrote, so this was just another fight on the land, smashing up crap, knocked her glasses straight off her face, noticed the scratches on her hands as well. She dishes it just as much as he does. Lovely family environment that judge. This was after the kids were returned to the land. There's a photo of her smashed glasses. And those were the videos that they shared. So obviously this has been a situation where there's been a lot of chaos in this house. And my fascination here is how this has shifted from she can dish it out and she's not protecting the kids to now the same account sort of protecting her and wanting to make sure that she's safe. So I do think there has been a seismic shift for most people realizing the magnitude of what's been going on inside the house and understanding sort of where she's at right now. I think there's frustration naturally from many of you that are fans because you feel like she has been lying and it's hard to trust her. But I think given the history of David, it's not unfair to believe that some of this is rightful. I mean, and I know we talk a lot about size, right? Like Amber is 5'2" and Andrew is 6'7", and we say, well, it doesn't matter the size of somebody in terms of these cases. But when it comes to Andrew was never physical with Amber. On this case, David was physical with her, and he's like 6'6", and Janelle's like 5 feet tall. So this is a really big difference in size, in weight. A very large like physical power dynamic, and with her celebrity, it seems as though he was utilizing that through these text messages of threatening to ruin her or destroy her or all of that. And sadly, I think this is what a lot of people go through when they're leaving, especially someone like David, is that there's fear, there's the fear of the retaliation. So at least now that she has this order of protection, she can at least have the legal recourse at this point that if he were to do any of these things, that he would get in trouble for doing so. And then on Instagram earlier today, he was actually posting a photo of him. Taking off his finger, and he said, I'm gonna take some time, this is gonna take some time for this to heal up. And he was taking off his wedding ring, and then he also posted I guess I can take this off now. So he is at a point now where he's clearly gets that they're getting a divorce, and it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see exactly how this plays forward, but I do hope that you guys continue, as much as you hate her, if you don't like her, if you think she's vile and disgusting, and you haven't liked the way that she's treated her kids, or that she abandoned Jace, or all of that aside, where she's at right now, like, we have to just remember, like, no one deserves this, and she needs to keep herself and the kids safe. And so let's just continue to hope that things stay mellow. I don't expect it to stay that way, though. David, I could totally see David, like, in my opinion, violating this and getting in trouble. He's already been arrested for violating orders like this in the past with Olivia Leadham, so we'll see. And then there's this whole, like, other expectation from people, like, I hope that she apologizes to Olivia Leadham, because if you remember this past fall, Olivia was on social media raising money to fight for the protection of her son Caden and the custody between her and David. And, you know, Janelle was posting all this thing about father's rights and how Olivia was a liar, and she called her a slut, and she called her an alcoholic, and she used her platform to sort of slander and slam her, which wasn't accurate and was kind of mean. And so a lot of people are demanding that she apologize. And I think, you know, you may want to hear that. I don't know that it will ever happen. You have to remember that she might have been doing a lot of that to pacify David, to keep the peace at home. It sucks. It just sucks that she had a platform when all of this was going on and was, like, using it negatively, probably for her own safety, but still there was other people hurt in the process. Now, for now, the kids are safe. I hope that Kaiser and the kids and her can get some counseling and everyone can take care of themselves. I'll be back later with some more information. I'm going to try to give you some other not so tea stuff coming up soon. I want to get back into some of the more gritty cases that I do like to cover, but if there's anything that you want me to take a look at, make sure you put those in the comments below. And also make sure, if you haven't yet, check me out on Instagram. I'm posting things as I get them. So there's a photo up on my Instagram of Amber's paraphernalia, if you'd like to see that. So make sure you check me out at Without a Crystal Ball on Instagram, or on Facebook as well at facebook.com/withoutacrystalball. I'm mostly on Instagram these days, so if that's really where you want to connect with me, go there. All right, you guys, I'll be back later. Bye.